Welcome to the loop.
Welcome one, welcome all. This is your shopping mall. I think is how the saying goes. I think
we
it's
do
how
have a store. Is that
you
what
can
you're
go to
trying
store.minutetub.com, buy all of our
Yeah.
apparel, like this lovely shirt I'm wearing here. It's
There
got
you
our
go.
faces on it. It looks like a classic NES game. You're welcome. You're welcome for that. Go buy that. Anyways, welcome to The Loop. This is a talk show about video games. As always, I'm joined by Invisible Kyle. Whoa, did you hear that?
Whoa.
Yeah.
Say it again. It's Kyle? Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
You sound invisible, Kyle. That's so weird. How'd
Here.
you do that?
Here, put your headphones on.
Yeah, okay. All right, that's good. All right, and Jeremy's here.
How's it going?
Jeremy, hi Jeremy. How are you?
I'm good.
Oh, good to see you.
Yeah.
Trevor is here.
Hi.
How's Trevor doing?
Trevor is good.
All right, and he's also a caveman. Your
some-
vocabulary is astonishing.
Can
me.
we get right off? And there's some confusion in the chat, Eric.
Why
Already.
What?
I Dislike Taxes is like, wait a minute. He thought this was Men in a Tub. This is The Loop.
Well, it's
Men in a Tub presents The Loop. This is our video game stream.
Yeah.
This is every Wednesday
everybody-
night.
everybody
all
knows
right.
that,
Everybody
right?
should know that.
Yeah.
If you don't and you're new, this is The Loop. It says right there on the wall.
see it's
okay?
actually over there. It's over there.
It's on the wall
That's
behind
yeah,
us.
it's back there.
Whatever.
Okay, yeah.
I'm looking this direction.
Okay.
I don't
Anyway,
have a good live
And
feed right
you know, tomorrow night we do that other stream.
Yeah. So settle down. Okay. Just chill out.
now. Games.
Spec and enjoy.
No, but this is, it's, Kyle's here. Didn't you, Kyle, say hi again? See, Kyle's here. He's there. Wave, Kyle.
Hi.
Yeah, see, it's fine. So stop stressing out, Logan. No,
Calling it witchcraft.
it's true. But we're glad to have everybody here tonight. It's going to be a little bit of a different show tonight than you may be expecting or you've come to expect from The Loop. I mean, there's a certain quality, a certain French word to what we do here. But
It ends in détois.
there's a certain menage a trois to what we have going on between the three of us. I think that's French for what's happening.
That's got to be it. yeah.
So, anyways,
Special kind of hors d'oeuvre.
yes, escargot perhaps. No, but it's good to be here and to mock other nations. I'm glad we could do that here. I hope if you're from France, you're offended. You're welcome. No, what's different about it? How are you guys doing first? I just want to breathe a little bit. How are you, Jeremy? Are you doing
good.
okay? You doing okay?
Good.
Trevor, you doing
I
okay?
thought we established I'm good.
Okay.
There's so
good.
many
Just
video
making
games
sure.
right now.
A lot of video games, a lot of things going on. Jolliver, welcome to the chat. Trevi, welcome.
Hey.
Jolliver says, no, Kyle, must be Y for guest. I don't know what that means, but yes,
Yeah,
it must be Y for
That's a
guest.
different
Why for
version of
guest,
English.
So, you're actually correct. I think that's what you meant. We do have a special guest on the show tonight. Normally that doesn't happen, but we, for lack of better terms, I don't know if he wants to be called this. I'm gonna call him a game developer. I'm gonna call him that. I don't know if he actually develops
works.
games, but I'm gonna call him a game developer. I don't know any.
It works for
Yeah,
a game
yeah.
developer.
He
This
has
is,
helped developing a game, and in the sense, the game would not be whole without him. So
I'm guessing Kyle will ask him what his job title
yeah, I'm
is
sure
or
that'll
something.
work out. I just like Taxes says, you guys got Bill Cosby. No, I'm sorry. I'm
We
sorry.
didn't have any Jello in the
yes.
studio, so he refused to go to our green room.
So, he was like,
very
if you ain't
innocent
got the
thing.
pudding pops, I ain't gonna stop pops. That's a rhyme. No, but yes, as you assumed, we do have a guest. He's currently working on a game called Last Epoch. I think I said that right. If I didn't, I'm sorry. This is, and Kyle's waiting in the wings.
It's spelled Epoch.
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 He's with the Last Epoch.
Yeah.
Epoch. There's no the. I said that
or
wrong.
Epoch?
I'm sorry, I said it wrong. It's like
Epoch?
Disney Epcot Center. It's
Yeah.
the Epoch Center. So anyways, we got Rob Benson in the house. Let's go ahead and give it up and let's take it over to Kyle there, where he's with Mr. Benson here. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Clap. Let's clap. It's very exciting. Very exciting. Very exciting.
Thank you guys. Thanks.
Hey, Kyle, go for it.
Yeah, as they said, Rob Benson here, and you are working as the sound engineer on the Last Epoch.
Kind of put the sounds in the game, but I'm mostly designing the music.
Mostly designing the music. Okay. And you are also community outreach for the Last Epoch.
Yes, one of them.
Okay. One of them. There's more. There's more
a lot
than
of
one
us.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So first of all, welcome to our new side of the set. This is the first interview that we have done on this side.
It's comfy.
So you can put that on your resume.
Ooh.
So tell people that you did the first in-house in the new portion of our studio interview here. But let's talk about you and your game.
Yes.
You're excited about it, right?
A little bit.
Okay, that's good. That's always good to be excited about it, because if you're not, then what's the point?
Yeah.
So the studio is 11th Hour.
11th Hour
Okay,
games. Correct?
it's small studio, right?
Yeah, 14, 15, just kind of, we have people that float in and out, but
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, so and full time or all kind of like secondary time?
Secondary time,
Okay.
yeah, we're all part-time right now.
Okay, cool. Are you guys all here or spread out across the country?
Actually, we're spread out internationally. We have
International, okay.
artists in Spain, artists in Russia, programmer in Britain, Texas, obviously Omaha.
Yeah. That's
Canada.
the most important one,
Yeah,
right?
Omaha's the most important one.
Okay. Yeah, we got to represent here. So you, let's see, how did you get involved with this?
Funny enough, I was on a Path of Exile Reddit, and this crazy dude was posting like, I want to make an ARPG. And so I was like, well, I make music. And then he heard my music and he's like, dude, you're in. I was like the third or fourth person on the team, and that was 11 months ago now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is still relatively new.
As far as game development goes, absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right, and that's why we haven't started the Kickstarter
Nope.
campaign. So tell me about that. That's starting
April 17th.
Okay.
Yep.
And you've got a lot of stuff on the website already for the game, which I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised when I was looking at all the stuff, looking at the video and everything, that you hadn't even started any funding yet.
Yeah. Well, we actually have a playable demo. You can get in, and there's about 45 minutes of a game that you can actually get your hands on and go kill.
How does that come about that you haven't even gone through your Kickstarter and you're able to do that?
The magic of Unity.
Magic
It's
of
a
Unity.
Fantastic
Okay.
platform.
So how much did you have to buy into this cult for?
Honey,
I'm just kidding. You don't have to answer that question.
she'll get out the checkbook and figure it out. real
Okay.
quick.
All right. Well, hopefully you haven't had to spend as much as Trevor has spent in Star Citizen. Because I
Nobody
know
has.
I
Nobody has.
okay, nobody has. That's true. I know he's got one of those giant spaceships. So, yeah, I'm sure you don't, Trevor. I can't hear you at all. Okay, so with the Kickstarter, what kind of are there any type of very specific things that people are going to be able to get?
Absolutely.
in that?
So we have your the typical backer tiers.
Sure.
We're offering pets that scale up as you go up the backer tier.
Okay, you said pets?
Yeah, like
Okay.
in-game
For
pets that
in-game
follow you
pets?
around and
Okay.
do things and interact. And
What is the best kind of pet?
I was really pushing for a steampunk meerkat,
Steampunk meerkat.
but I can't tell you what pets we're going to be putting out there unless
Okay.
somebody in chat wants to.
Okay.
I don't know if I can say
you
that
don't.
or not
You don't know
yet.
how many you could. Can
Yeah.
you say what any of them are in any of the tiers, or that hasn't been released yet?
Hasn't been released yet.
Right. Okay. So, man, I tried to trick him, guys. I
know.
tried to get some specific information. So, writing music for a game. I'm in a band. I've written music. It's difficult. How do you write music for a game that will be entertaining and I mean, don't take offense to this. No. Jeremy turns off the music in every single video game. So what would you do to make him? Yeah, I'm okay. I know.
It's fine. It's fine.
It baffles me too. What is it that you do to make sure that this works and that it fits well with the game?
That it ties to the game, that it drives the game, that it's not just background noise, it's not just this ambient dong, 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 you know,
Sure.
the thudding, but it has thematic melodies that tie to the characters, that tie to the storyline, that they come back, they repeat themselves, and most importantly, that you can hum them. You know, that
Okay.
it's something that you listen to a couple times and you're like, okay, I know the melody now, and I know it'll take your brain back to that specific point. So
Sure.
it's also kind of a remembering thing
Sure.
too.
So how much music do you actually have to put together for a game?
Anywhere from 2.5 to 3.5 hours of like fully orchestrated music.
Man, that's like 4 or 5 albums,
Right?
for a rock band. That's insane.
It's a great resume.
And do you guys have a release date yet, or a target date for the game?
A lot of it depends on how much we
much backing?
receive when we get kickstarted. The more we get, the
Okay.
faster we can develop.
Okay. So what can you tell us about the game that any like juicy little tidbits that aren't out there that you're able to release? No? Maybe?
We have 2 classes in the demo right now.
Okay.
We are set to release a 3rd class before Kickstarter.
Okay.
We're getting pretty darn close. That class is the Void Knight. Right now we have the Primalist and the Sorcerer.
Okay.
And then hopefully we're putting out the Void Knight very soon. I'm just going to say that.
Which one's the
deal
best?
with it, Judd. Void Knight, absolutely.
Void Knight over a sorcerer.
Absolutely. I mean, unless you're like one of those pansies that likes to sit back and pew pew.
Well,
pew,
now,
pew.
hey, hang on. I like to hang back and pew pew.
That's why you need a Void Knight friend, you know.
That's why. Okay. So that would be. I'm trying to think of who in the tub would be the Void Knight.
Jeremy.
Yeah, what he said.
What he's okay. If you couldn't hear that, it's Jeremy. Okay.
Jeremy. Yeah.
Okay. Does that mean that he knows everything about the game and is going to lead?
He just likes getting hit. He just likes getting in front and getting
Oh,
beat
okay.
up.
Yep.
He's not super intelligent, but he does a lot of damage, sort of dude.
Still me.
Okay.
Sorry, Jeremy.
All right.
Still me.
That sounds about right.
Okay.
So with developing a game, are you involved in anything other than the music?
Yeah, I mean, I hop in all the conversations on skills, balancing. I lose most of the balancing ones, but items, how they work, our systems, how they work. I mean, our entire team is involved in those. It's not just like one person's a systems designer, one person is deciding how, you know, armor works or dodge works. It's something we're all
Sure.
figuring out together.
Okay. Have you guys done a lot of interviews like this?
This is our first one.
This is
really.
the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Okay, so first one. So I mean, is there any way that we can get something snuck into the game? Like, I don't know, like a character, a pet,
Dudes in a tub.
some dudes in a tub that follow you around that pew pew from behind.
I will go back to. They're watching right now. They could tell you in chat.
All right. Let us know in the chat if there's anything that we can work into the game. We'd love to be in the game in some way,
consider
shape, or
it,
form. Okay.
We'll consider it.
I mean, first interview. Just
interview,
throwing that
Judd,
out
you
there.
hear that?
Yeah, first interview. So
News
Breaking
coming in,
news.
Kyle's from the chat. Last Epoch game in the Twitch chat says guys in a tub confirmed.
guys in the tub confirmed.
There you go. There
See,
you go.
we
Awesome.
respond very quickly.
Awesome. Okay, you heard that here first. That is a juicy leak here. That
Seriously.
That was one of those happy little accidents that Bob Ross always talks about. So you heard it here first. Okay, so obviously, like, the idea of creating a video game doesn't always. I mean, in theory, it sounds like it's awesome. Like, hey, let's build a game. Let's do something that we want to see in a game and put all that stuff together.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of stuff that you're running into that has been extremely challenging, or that you're like, oh, this isn't exactly what we thought it was going to be?
I mean, it's like, how do you nail it right one bite at a time? It's probably never going to finish it by yourself, but I mean,
Sure.
there's a lot of things story-wise, and again, some of those like interactions we were talking about with systems and how they work. I mean, we've
Sure.
had some pretty bloody arguments about them, and
Okay.
you know, I think that's where some game designers fail these days is they don't want to have those arguments. They're just like, this is the way the system is, and we're just going to ship it that way, and you get some kind of half-baked game, and we don't want to do that. So yeah, there's definitely been some brick walls. I mean, we don't even know what the Epoch looks like yet, Judd.
Okay.
So we're 2 weeks and 6 days out from Kickstarter. We don't know what our main symbol of the game looks like.
Okay. So what is the goal of the game?
The goal of the game, so it's a time traveling, top down, isometric ARPG.
Okay.
Had it memorized.
Time traveling, and you get a pet.
And you get
Or do you
pets
get
and
multiple
stuff.
pets?
Depends if you're the primalist or warlock or necromancer, druid, etc. You might have multiple pets.
Okay.
This pet's a cosmetic pet, so it's just kind of make you look cool, have some particle effects, etc. The point of the game, basically, the storyline is set a little bit like not in our future, but in the future for the game.
Okay.
And the void has just completely taken over. I mean, it's just leaking in. Everybody's pretty much dead except for this one last settlement. And the void just kind of finally breaks in, starts killing everybody. And the elders send you to find the Temple of Eterra, where you find the Last Epoch, and it sends you back in time. And then you have different eras you go through, and you're just collecting power to kind of figure out like who the ultimate bad person is that kind of let all this stuff in.
Okay.
And defeat them, basically.
To keep the void from taking over.
Yeah, to keep it from ever happening in the first place.
Okay. Do you also find the sports almanac so that you can make lots of money in the future?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You can go bet on horses or whatever.
Okay. Awesome. Confirmed. Horse betting.
Confirmed gambling.
It is there. Wait. Are you serious? No. Oh, okay. I was about to get maybe a little excited there about the gambling portion of it. Okay. So what is one thing that you have either learned through all of this process or that was completely like unexpected that has stood out to you the most?
Just how quickly it's going, honestly. I mean, you figure a bunch of people internationally trying to make a game together might take a really long time, but I mean, 2018, I didn't even know all this technology existed, but you throw everything on a GitHub and everybody can work on it, and yeah, it's insane how fast we've gone. I mean, we have a huge enough portion of the back end, developed, and we're ready to kickstart and get into the full breadth of the game.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right, well there you go. So I can't think of is there any other questions from the tub gallery over there?
Yeah. We got some questions in the chat. So
Okay,
why don't
let's hear the chat
why
questions.
don't we roll through some of these? Okay.
I don't have the chat in front of me, so I couldn't ask those.
Let's see here. I just like taxes. Let's see. I lost all of the questions because there were so many. Okay. KQ Kyle, I think he's from maybe a game developer potentially.
He is our story writer.
He says you can totally mention little chrono worm. Chrono worm? Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, I think you just
He's
did.
the dragon hatchlings that feed on dead. The dragon hatchlings that feed on dead timeline remnants. Cool. So that's a thing. Just so you know.
Thank you, Kyle. You mentioned it for me.
Yes, there you go. Login Fail said that the Komodo dragon would be sweet if you could get that in the game.
Rick, that's you.
I just like Taxes wants to know the setting of the game. Is it dark fantasy? Is it medieval? Is it gay San Francisco? Which is?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the answer is yes.
All three. Okay.
All three. Wow.
Depends on how you play.
Depends exactly what you're wearing that day. It's high fantasy, dark fantasy. That's kind of what we're going for. Not full like Dark Souls necessarily. Kind of maybe 3 or 4 shades back from that.
Okay.
Let's see.
Will skills be capped at level 20?
Oh, okay.
Yes, skills would be capped at level 20. They will scale with your gear, etc. You have points you can put into them, so you will continue to get more powerful even when the skill's level 20. But level 20 skill is going to be much later in the game. You're not going to get a level 20 skill at level 20.
So does that mean it's just like Destiny?
No.
Okay.
Jeremy's out.
There's actually stuff to do in our games.
Oh, sick burn.
That was
Sorry, Bungie.
Is
You
there
let me
loot
down.
boxes and grinding?
Loot boxes and grinding.
Loot boxes, unconfirmed, grinding confirmed.
Okay.
Good type of
Wait,
grinding,
what
though.
kind of grinding?
Like bump and grind,
Like-
or
Depends on how you play.
Like, what is this game going to be rated?
Probably MA? I don't know.
Okay.
okay, all right, mature because of the music. It's very
Yeah,
graphic.
absolutely.
Very graphic.
Yes.
Sexual in nature.
It's grindcore.
Grindcore.
All right. I just like taxes. Would also like to know what games influenced the play style.
Chrono Trigger, Diablo 2, Path of Exile, Titan Quest. Chrono Trigger for the storyline.
Okay.
And just how time interacts, and you're part of the timeline. So if you make something happen in, say, the ancient era, it's going to reflect that in the future.
Okay.
So all your changes do have a purpose. So that's the Chrono Trigger aspect. And then obviously, the front runners of the ARP genre, Diablo 2. It's paced like Diablo 2. It's a little bit slower. It's not like seizure-inducing like some of the newer ARPGs that just go really, really fast.
Sure.
And so that'd be the big two, I'd say.
Cool.
Is the final boss Lavos? Asks Dungeon Master Paul.
Unconfirmed.
Okay. Let's see. Did I miss anything, guys, that you saw in the chat? Did I? Is there multiple endings?
Well, the end game is going to have a lot of timeline manipulation. So maybe. It just depends up to Kyle, how many he wants to write.
What about?
I want to have 5.
Okay.
5 at least. You hear that, Kyle?
Yeah.
Wait, no, I'm Kyle.
Yeah.
So you're going to write our endings.
So
then.
5. Yeah, 5 endings.
5 for Kyle, 5 for other Kyle.
Okay.
10 now.
Is there character customization?
Yes, there will be MTX in the game. You'll be able to change how all your armor looks. You're going to be covered in armor, so you don't really need to do face tattoos like 20 tiers, and you don't need to look like a Fortnite character necessarily. But we do want you to have customization with your gear. We're going to offer a wide variety of changes that you can do to make your character look really cool.
One final question from the chat. 00 Critical wants to know where is the name come from? Background?
Where's the name come from? So, Epoch is the name of the ship on Chrono Trigger that you actually hop in and use to float around time.
Okay.
And it actually means a moment in time, and it's the last moment in time.
Ah.
Yes.
Fez wants to know, can we have cool microtransactions to change the graphical effect of spells?
That's something we are considering. We're considering MTX for the UI as well. You can change how your UI looks. Adding armor to the pet, taking armor from the pet, how your feet interact with the ground, they leave little footprints, etc. So you can color match and play Destiny all day long.
Destiny.
Destiny.
So I
All right.
have a question. Is that a lot of like working with Unity? Does that what makes all that possible to be able to just kind of add all those small little elements without coding too? Like taking the long process, is it something easy to be like, hey, we want footprints, or is it something you got to manually code these footprints in, or is it kind of a option within Unity to just kind of toggle certain elemental effects like that on and off? Do you have any idea? You said it's not on the keyboard or the MIDI programming, so I'm not sure.
I mean, I'm not huge into programming. Unity allows us to do a lot with the particle effect system, so I'd imagine with Unity it's a lot easier to do that. I'm sure Michael or Mitch is going to have to code, individual, your footsteps here lifts up, leaves a particle effect.
Okay.
But
Cool.
it's a lot less work. So.
All right, we got any other questions before we bid adieu to Mr. Benson? No? Kyle, you good? No?
I think I'm good.
Kuipers?
I think I'm
No?
good. Did Kuipers get you a drink?
Oh, yeah, did Kuipers get
Earlier?
Kuipers, go get him a
No,
drink.
Kuipers.
Kuipers, get.
Come on.
Rob
Don't
a
trip,
drink.
don't trip,
Don't trip.
Triple.
Good job.
Where's
good
our Benny Hill
okay.
music?
We got-
Man.
Shasta.
Yeah, Shasta.
Get him a Shasta, man.
Right here.
What flavor of Shasta?
There's strawberry
Yes.
creams.
We got
and
purple.
red cherry.
we got
purple.
cream
Cream soda.
Cream soda.
Cream soda.
Cream soda. Get him
I'm a cream soda guy.
Get him
All
a
right.
cream soda.
All my fans out
There you go.
Get it.
Cream
That's-
soda guy right here.
Yeah, so there.
All right.
So where can everybody learn more about the game if they want to? Like, what's a good URL?
https://www.lastepochgame.com. You can also download our demo in the Discord. Just
right.
hop in there, get it, open it up, tell us what you think. We're always looking for feedback.
Cool.
All right,
And again, the date for your Kickstarter is April 17th, right?
17th.
All right. So there you go. That concludes our first interview in the interview chairs, and we'll kick it back over to you, Mike. Eric.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. That's good. I'm glad to be here. We would like to thank Rob. We're looking at a little bit more of his game footage here. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause to Mr. Benson for coming. If I can get the iPad to work. There it is. Thank you. Thank you very much. We really appreciate that. Thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by. It was a pleasure. It was an honor. Really. I'm actually pretty excited to check this game out. I'm going to get the demo.
Yeah, we'll have to do a live stream.
Maybe we'll stream the game a little bit,
a
little of it. Welcome back to the tub, Kyle.
Hey.
It's good to see you here.
What's going on, guys?
So long, Rob. So long.
Thank you for stopping
other
in.
people here that I won't mention in case they don't want to be mentioned.
We hired a makeup artist.
Okay, yeah. All right.
His whole posse was here.
Yes, that's true. Entourage. Yes. Have fun. Thank you. Drive safe. All right. And we're back.
And thanks to all the Last Epoch game people in the chat as well, adding some additional context for the game.
Yeah.
Just been looking at this game footage. It looks pretty slick. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to check it out. So
it's very cool. It's cool to see kind of a smaller developer going out there and just doing their thing. I don't know. It just seems like the game development now it's a little more attainable in some ways than it used to be. It's still expensive, but it's still cool to see sometimes like these smaller
was there clarification?
collectives.
Is this PC only? Was that
I think so.
Yeah.
or initially? Or?
I mean, until it blows up and it comes out on the Switch.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Sorry, guys.
Right,
That's-
everything comes out of the Switch.
Last Epoch game. I think this is the guy that kind of started the brainchild of it all here. Says thanks for your time, guys. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We appreciate you. Thank
you.
you for hanging out in the chat and watching. That was it was a good time.
Oh, real quick. They says we're.
They says what?
They says. They say.
Sphincter says what?
I've been playing too much Far Cry. We're not. They say they're not ruling out consoles. So.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's Unity is a really cool platform that it seems like people once they kind of make their home it's pretty portable. Well, welcome to the Loop again. If you didn't know this was a Loop, we're still the Loop. We just had a nice little a little change of pace here. I feel like we didn't really talk about much at the top of the show, but I feel like everybody's been gaming this week. We've been playing a lot of video games. There's been a lot of pirating. A lot of thieving. Also,
there's been some serious thieving. But we can talk about that later.
and then there was also some crying. We cried far away. 5 times.
5 times.
Yeah.
Really long,
All the way
deep
to Montana.
Yeah.
cries.
So what should we want to start with Sea of Thieves? Why don't we start with that? That's kind of been out for a while. The 4 of us have partied up and played
some adventures.
played some hours of that game. Where's it sitting with everybody? Is everybody still in love? Is the honeymoon over?
I'm gonna say so. Last night, some of
real
us
quick.
were,
Hey, East Lansing, thanks for joining the chat.
Hey, what's
Welcome.
up?
Nice. A couple of us, 3 of us, were live in game last night, and we all had a hard time quitting because these guys with their fancy sale, because they had enough gold to buy it, which irritates me how fast they did that. And they were amazing at their gameplay, and I learned some things from them, but we were so frustrated because they
embarrassing.
stole our skulls.
It's embarrassing.
We tried. Oh, it was so bad. They wrecked our ship like 3 times.
Let's back up a little bit. So we were playing as a 3-person team, which means
galleon.
that you are in a galleon, the larger of the 2 ships, and we were trying to solve a riddle for a gold quest that Jeremy had gotten because he's much further in the game than we are. But not much further. He's further in the game, so he's got
we?
more. Me and Trevor.
Oh, okay.
So it's more valuable that when you get the gold from those. So we were trying to solve this riddle.
It just kept adding.
It kept adding to it. So when you got on the island, it only revealed 1, and then you had to go and do something for that to reveal the
You had
last
to find
part
a
of it.
specific spot, and yeah, it was interesting.
So we tried going through this, and eventually, Jeremy and I were so frustrated trying to figure it all out that we then Trevor jumped on the island, but we didn't really think about having somebody on the boat because we hadn't run into any trouble.
I hadn't
last night.
seen. I'd been looking around. I hadn't seen anybody.
We hadn't seen anyone.
Yeah.
We had some. We also had a rainstorm that was coming in, so that was kind of
thought we were
protecting us.
Yeah, exactly.
So Trevor finds this, and as he's coming back to the ship with the chest, Jeremy yells, "There's a ship coming! There is a ship coming towards us!"
And I was like, and it's got its own custom sail, which means we're in trouble.
"Yeah."
Maybe they just played a lot.
So
lot.
they did play a lot, but they also were really good.
They were really good,
because they were in a sloop.
I feel like
and they took us
taunted
out.
us.
Yeah, they did.
They really did because they took one of the 4 skulls that we had.
Thanks for following.
Thanks for
Lansing.
following. So yeah, they found the skulls on our ship. They took only one of the 4 of them, and then took off after undocking our ship and trying to sink it and shooting it. So we got back. We start shooting at them, but it was too late. Our ship had sunk, so we're grabbing all the gear that we can and trying to store it on the island for Jeremy to then
hidden
go
spot.
and find a ship to bring back to us. Well, then they come back around and start to kill us.
Cool.
And yeah, it was bad.
It went on for probably an hour and a half. Of
So
us
the
trying-
typical Sea of Thieves
yeah, it wasn't
experience.
quite an
Yeah.
hour and a half.
Well,
But-
then they both quit, and I kept playing for another 3 hours.
By yourself?
yeah.
So you didn't sleep at all
You
last
kept.
night.
Oh my gosh.
3 hours?
Jeez.
Jeremy, it was 11:30 when I signed off.
I know.
It's I don't. Is it that
I
good of a
just-
game that you could play it that long, like
I
by
just
yourself?
Couldn't stop.
By
I
yourself?
just couldn't stop.
What were you doing?
Oh, and I saw
It's
the
because
I
there's
saw the
loot.
Kraken.
You did?
I saw it attack a galleon right in front of me because I was trying to attack the galleon myself, and the water turned black, and these tentacles came out and were all around. The galleon got away, by the way, but it was impressive. The music changed. It was right, and it was like right in the middle of the map. It wasn't on the edge or anything, but it was intense,
Huh.
and it was bigger than some of the big islands as far as the
Yeah.
amount of space that it took up. But that was actually pretty exciting to see for the first time.
Yeah, I have not. We have not experienced the Kraken together. That's, It's what's funny about that game is it's a constant storytelling game. Like, but I've heard other people's experience say like I never see anybody. Like I never see another ship. Like it's like, and that's weird because I don't know the way the servers work or something. It must not. But I mean I've had experiences where I played for hours and not seen anybody. But I feel like maybe that's the thing is like we've all played so much that we obviously are going to run into other players.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're this is a game that like you kind of have to say I want to play this game because if you don't want to commit to some time to it, you're not going to see very much of it, and you're not going to have
and the
like
missions at the beginning are really kind of boring compared to the
Yep.
ones that are later on.
yeah, and you're just not going to have the stories to tell too because when you don't have those encounters with other live players, it doesn't lend itself to that storytelling, to that excitement.
Right.
I mean, the fetch quests, for me personally, like it gets a little old. Like it's like, okay, yeah, look, go get the thing. That's fine. Like whatever. Like I'm bored out of my mind after a couple hours of that. But it's the stuff the encounters that happen, like the tension that comes from like hoping that they don't steal your stuff or trying
do
to
we go
steal
to another
their
island
stuff
and get
like,
another chest, or do we go drop off everything we have?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's that sort of thing
Well, and
that
makes
it.
I think we all ran
exciting.
into that the other night when it was the 4 of us because we had an amazing adventure shooting down another ship. That was a good half hour that we were chasing that ship.
Oh, yeah, it was.
and back and forth, and the side of our ship looked like it was just
Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese, yeah. But then it was like by the end we had been just doing the merchant fetch chickens, fetch pigs, and it just was like, man, this is kind of getting old when you're doing just the one kind. And I think that's the key with the game to keep it fresh is to continue to cycle through the different types.
Yeah.
Especially because like the more that you get, the further you get with the gold ones, like the riddle portion of that. Last night we stood
confusing.
there for a half hour on that island trying to figure out the one riddle to see the last part, and then once we found the last part, we couldn't find that on the island because it was such a big island that trying to find where it was that we were supposed to go, it just didn't make sense at all. And finally, Trevor found it, but
Yeah.
Unfortunately, someone else found our ship.
Did they steal all your stuff then?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And
All
then
the
we
stuff, yeah.
we chased them back to the outpost. And got
chased them
into,
for almost an hour.
They hid behind another island. We went to the wrong side trying to go around them, and then they just skirted right around to try and pass us. It ended with Trevor and me in the Mystic tent,
Waiting for them
holding,
to turn
holding
in our skulls.
the blaster, waiting for them to turn in the skulls, and it didn't work.
No. Well, I'm sorry. I
But
apologize.
it was still a good time.
Yeah.
But now there's another game out.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I've
man.
been playing some Far Cry 5. I figured one of us might want to have some of the game under their belt before tonight. So I volunteered as tribute. And then I didn't play Sea of Thieves with you guys. I didn't even know you were all playing last night.
I did get
My
2 hours
Xbox
in on this game
notifications were
today.
not working last night.
Yeah, they
It
don't
didn't-
work. I
yeah.
didn't tell me that any of you guys were
They
playing.
were working for me.
That's weird.
Because and the other night when you were having that issue, I was playing and I was getting notifications.
Well,
just fine.
you even sent me a message on Xbox and I didn't see it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you sent me a text and I didn't see it either.
Yes.
So
Yes. But you did send me a message yesterday, or the last time that we were both on.
I think it said,
And-
vote Jeremy in the brig.
Yes, it said
I think
vote
that's what it
Jeremy
said.
into the
Yeah,
brig.
yeah, I think that's
Yeah,
what it said.
and that
makes
came
complete
through.
sense.
I think that's
Yeah,
what it
that
said.
That
makes
came
complete
through.
sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyways, I have been playing Far Cry. I'm probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours into it.
Nice.
And it's, you know what? I would say, and I think Trevor's played. I think Kyle,
played.
you guys both have played a little
started
bit.
a little
I'm
bit of
probably-
it today.
Okay.
I'm probably about the same amount of time in there. as
Okay.
you are, so.
I've liberated the first main city,
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
town.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
not that far in.
I got
No,
my. I
but I
got
played for about
myself.
2 hours.
No, Kyle was saying, wow.
I got myself
So I was-
clothed.
I've been in an
good job.
airplane. I've been in a helicopter.
Cool.
Yeah, the helicopter cutscene. That's where I ended.
Yeah. Okay. It's a gorgeous game. I'll give them that. It
really
looks
is.
really nice. When you first get control of the game, like when you get control of the character, you kind of are in the woods, in the forest, and it's just, man, it's gorgeous. So that's what I've been playing. East Lansing wants to know, is Far Cry 5 any good?
What
From what I've played, it's really good.
Yeah.
But I want to be clear on a couple things here. It is a Far Cry game.
Yeah.
Yep.
If you don't like Far Cry,
You're not
You're
gonna
not
like
gonna
it.
if you
like it,
haven't liked the last 4 Far Cries, then
Yep.
you're probably not going to like this one. And when I say that, I'm including Primal and Blood Dragon.
Can we
not
talk about
2
the
and 1?
opening story? Like it drew me in.
Oh, did it? Yeah, it was pretty
Yeah,
good.
and it was it was dark. I thought they were gonna play it a little more hokey,
I
a
thought
little
so
more
too,
backwoods, but it was dark.
Yeah. It's
It's like a Far Cry story.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I think the
But it
difference.
seemed darker than the other ones. The other
But,
ones
yeah.
seemed a little more.
I don't know. Darker? How can you can't get much
yes.
darker
Are you-
than 4? Are you
yeah.
4 is
I think
the bad guy in 4 is pretty dark.
the
He's
Maybe it's
difference
because it
quirky.
hits home. Maybe because
Yeah.
it's like.
I think that
Backwoods
4,
America.
it's the way that he carried himself in such a flamboyant manner that you were like,
Yeah.
maybe he
was, yeah.
doesn't have to be
Yeah.
this guy, or maybe there's something you can see something that's charming about him as to how he would have got himself into that
I mean,
place.
sure, but it was that makes it darker to me. I think that the appealing, charismatic. Where this guy, he's charismatic in a way that is not appealing. Where the other bad
true.
guys were charismatic in a way that I think was kind of likable. Where this dude is
Oh
just
yeah,
regular
no,
old
but you
Boyd
don't like him
Crowder.
at all.
he's just like hey, I'm the preacher dude,
Or David
and,
Koresh.
I know. What's funny is I just finished watching all of
Yep.
what was it called, Waco.
Waco, yep. Me too.
And I watched this and I was like, okay, there's no way they watched this, but they did their research because a lot of this stuff kind of mirrors.
It felt very much
Waco.
like it was like it was almost like I was watching Waco again, but where they were not sympathetic at all to
the other people.
the Koresh
Oh yeah.
fam.
Well,
Whereas Waco kind of
but that's
tries to
because-
tug on your heartstrings a little bit with the people that were in there.
yeah. But all these people have face tattoos, so it's pretty hard to be
Yeah,
sympathetic
that's
to them. They're just when they have a giant cross tattooed on their forehead. But nothing against people with face tattoos. But anyways, it's just one of those things where I think that it's hard because with Far Cry stuff, the action and the gameplay can be really goofy and really silly and just crazy. And so when you try to pin that with this very serious story that they're trying to tell, it clashes a lot. And so, and I think, and I was talking to Trevor about this earlier today. I saw like a comment from because some people are really like, the reviews are out. It's getting like the average is pretty good. It's like an 81 on Metacritic. But if you look at like Polygon or some of these other sites, that they're kind of beating it up and saying, well, it's 6.5, and they're complaining about the story a lot. But I think their big gripe is, I think a lot of people, because of the marketing, they kind of thought, hey, this is going to be, a hit piece on Trump. Yeah. Like this is going to be a commentary.
See, I never expected it would be. So
no, well, but I mean, that's what people wanted, right? Like they're like this is going to open up people's eyes. This is going to, and it's like, you know what? Ubisoft, for one, is a huge freaking company.
Yeah.
They have to watch out for their investors. They have to watch out for the bottom line. I get it. Like when movies come out and they make a statement and stuff, that you can do that. But when they're just selling a game, like it's kind of a different thing. And I think people kind of have to realize that they don't. And I think games can take chances. I think they could be edgier. I think they could tell better stories. And I think that maybe to a certain extent, Far Cry probably does fail at that. They could at least hit home on something. They could like strike a tone and stick to it. But they do waver back and forth. They don't want to offend anybody. They play it very safe.
They're too much of a AAA developer.
But you wouldn't say that about New Line Cinema is too much of a AAA movie studio, or Fox or whatever. You know what I mean? Like they still put out hard-hitting movies.
I guess what I mean is they're too much of a stereotypical. They're a big company that doesn't want to offend anybody.
Yeah.
I'm not saying big companies can't, but I'm saying,
sure,
a certain type are very safe, and I think.
They want to maximize playability, right, across the entire.
Well, and they can't just come out and say. The thing that they say that I think annoys me the most. Okay, like besides the story, like okay, people want to say, well, they're not hard on religious people or Christians. They're too easy on them. They're saying there's good and bad Christians, which I think is a fair
and accurate statement.
So they're realistic.
You're saying there's critics who want them to be harder on Christians?
Yeah, I think that's from own opinion, they should be like, this is dangerous. Like believing in something like Christianity is dangerous because it leads to all these things. Like it's offensive and it's and all these other things. Where the other side is like, this is scary because they're making Christians look bad or Christianity look bad. Like this is bad. But so they play it, Far Cry, this game, the story seems to play it pretty safe. They don't, because like even like with preppers, like the idea of a prepper,
they
it's
have
like
some prepper kind of jokes.
That's what I'm saying. There's preppers in this game, but the way they play it is there's good preppers versus the bad preppers. Like it's not like prepping's bad or prepping's good.
Yeah, but that could be crazy or not crazy, depending.
So they play that, they straddle that line just safe, and I think that's what got people upset, because people, depending on the side you're on, and these people that are writing the reviews, they're like, I want them to like hit this hard and say that this is bad or that's bad.
I think that's ironic because for me, it feels more like they're being more realistic because maybe that's just the view I'm coming from.
Well, and I think, and that's the thing is like,
there's some crazy people out there.
Alt-right, crazy religious groups that could kind of fall into this line. But here, if you want to know what's offensive about the game, to me, coming from someone who grew up in small Midwestern town America, is that they portray everybody as freaking American flag t-shirt wearing idiots. And so
Wait, what do you mean? You're not wearing
yeah, I know.
You didn't take the sleeveless American flag shirt?
No.
But the Tennessee top hat?
I'm sorry.
Let me guess, red plaid.
That's me.
And it's a variation of
I picked the Tennessee top hat and the
and blue
sleeveless
jeans.
American.
You got the mullet?
Yep, I made the mullet.
I did get the mullet because I thought that was great.
It was a great mullet.
It
I
was
wasn't
good.
brave enough. The mullet is fantastic.
I got to that point and I'm like, if I don't choose this, I think I'm playing Far Cry wrong. That's kind of how I felt about it.
That's how I felt about it too. And it's the last selection of your character.
Yeah,
before
it's like,
it says,
are you sure you want to do this?
you want to do this?
I don't know.
It's almost, you know what? I didn't
bounced
get that
back and
because I
forth
didn't
a couple
choose the
times.
mullet, so I didn't get that prompt.
Oh, you didn't?
It doesn't say, "Are you sure?"
Because it
no,
says
I'm just
that,
kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
was gonna say, it says that when you choose between being a male or a female.
Yeah.
Hey, Marley Bailey.
Hey, Marley.
Says, hey, boys. Hi.
Welcome.
So yeah, I think it's one of those things where I think that portrayal of this middle America is almost more offensive to me. Just
I mean,
that
it's really Western America, right?
Well,
American
Montana's
flag
pretty-
all over
yeah.
everything.
But
That's,
yeah,
I mean,
well, just the people are just like, oh, you need to go get my daddy's semi truck, and like just like he loved her, they stole it, and it was just this. It's a weird trope there that they kind of stick to.
I think
I
that's
don't
the
know.
thing though too
I
is
knew some people growing up who that.
Well, I'm not saying there
wasn't
aren't
so-
people like
yeah,
that,
exactly.
but it's just like
It's
everyone
not
isn't that
everyone.
way. Yeah, and that's like everybody in this game is that.
I love the fact that I mean the reviews that are out that are complaining about it not getting serious enough or this or that. It's like, number one, did you play the other games
It's Far
in the
Cry.
series?
Oh, the ridiculous.
Number two, this feels like this fits very, very finely along with other Ubisoft games like Watch Dogs in the way that they built Watch Dogs 2 in that almost entirely satirical but yet still made a point. And I mean that's what I've gathered from everything that I've seen of the game and what little bit I have played. It feels like it could very well kind of hit that almost that same note.
Yeah.
Where it's like the so over the top satire of something that it's like, okay, I can see where you're getting all this stuff and I can see what you're trying to say without making it something where they're like beating you over the head with it. If you think about it, you're going to find what they're maybe what they're looking at, but they're not wanting to make it so that it's something that's just like so overtly obvious that they're going to lose people's money over it.
Yeah,
I think it's even though it's in a certain type. I mean, it's a Far Cry game. How many other games have taken this sort of current setting, America type?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's been done.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is like if these other games have all been on like islands or like tropical settings,
where
and,
the
like,
majority of the people who play the game don't live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so being here and seeing like the cars that are like, oh, I'm not driving some weird little 3-wheeled vehicle. Like, I mean, this is
Got a
And
American
these aren't
muscle car.
These aren't
Yeah.
people from a third world country.
okay. So, okay. Yeah. that's how Jeremy played it. So the other, I feel like I should have wrote down my points I want to talk about because I feel like I'm going to forget some, but I don't want to skip over something. But the other thing about this game is they changed some stuff at the core, which I think might bother some people. People might like it. The one thing I feel like I haven't played enough for me to finally like just say I like this or I don't like it. But the skinning is so different now because when you collect the skins, you have to sell them to make money to buy upgrade, and then the upgrade that's not how you upgrade your
Yeah, I thought
pouches.
that was
That's not
interesting.
You have to sell that stuff for money to buy other things.
But American capitalism, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it makes sense because within the story, it's like, well, you're here, but there's these towns, there's merchants. You're not going to necessarily go and skin something and make your own pouch out of it or whatever,
Yeah.
right? But everything works on almost like an achievement system where you get perks for doing certain tasks, like shoot 3 people with a silenced pistol or something. You get 3 perk points
I
or
will say,
whatever,
though,
and
you
then
kill an animal in a violent way,
like a vehicle. You mean?
like a way that's not normal hunting.
Oh yeah, you
Like
don't, you get
a vehicle burning them.
get a
You
damaged
get a damaged one. There's
Yeah.
I like that they have that in there.
That's kind of always been in
That's
there.
nice.
yeah, I
but-
know, but I like that kind of.
I hope-
Anyway,
I will say, I feel like I'm not messing. I wouldn't be messing it up too much more if I hit it with a car than if I shoot a bear 1 billion times with my gun.
That's true.
That's
Well,
true.
honestly
don't
though,
shoot a bear 1 billion times.
I
with a
feel like
gun.
I have to though.
you get there is varying though, because it's like if you hit them with a car, you get like a damaged skin and just like a piece of meat
Yeah.
worth nothing. If you shoot them with a gun, like a machine gun or something, you get less material from them. But if you hunt them with a bow, you get more material. So there
geez,
are
okay.
different levels there in some
makes
ways.
sense.
Yeah,
And that big revolver,
yeah.
that thing is awesome. Shoot.
See, and I haven't really had a chance to mess with any of the hunting, but I do kind of like the idea that you can upgrade your stuff without having to spend hours scouring just a specific area, just hoping that maybe you'll come across the animal that's supposed to be there, but then finding only every other animal except for the one that you're looking for. Because that's been like the most frustrating thing I think that I've had with any of the Far Cry games that I've played before.
Is finding the animals.
Yeah,
that
because
gets annoying.
it's like it'll have the stamp there, and you're like, okay, it's in this area, and then I wander around for a half hour trying to find one, and I find every other animal except for the one that I'm actually looking for. So I like the fact that may not necessarily have to. You may not have to invest as much time trying to find something that may not automatically generate where you're at or where you're going to look for it.
What do you think about the microtransactions?
They're not.
Tell me about them.
They're not too obtrusive.
Yeah, they're not really there. They're mainly for cosmetics.
You
So
don't-
it's
are-
not
are
really that.
they?
Yeah.
I saw them and I kind of rolled my eyes, and I haven't looked at them since.
Mostly it's for changing your outfits and stuff like that. Yeah, so I guess there's that.
I mean, it's mainly like, hey, if you
You want to have this cool outfit. Right
if you want a
away.
skin on your gun that looks as American flag,
Yeah.
but you can actually find those silver bars that you can buy
In-game?
in safes. If you
Oh,
like blow
okay,
open
yeah.
safes, sometimes the in-game currency will be
Wait,
there.
so I can put an American flag on every gun?
Yes, you can. Yeah.
I'm sending freedom your way.
You're gonna
Yeah.
play, you're gonna play the game as if you're Crazy Legs in real life.
Yes, I am going to play the game. That is exactly how I want to do this. We'll see if I can actually make that happen. But I want to play this like a Crazy Legs,
Like a real Crazy Legs story.
Like, oh, suddenly the whole police department's been wiped out, and I'm it. All right, here we go. I was sad, and maybe it's not, but I really liked the White Horse character, the sheriff.
Yeah. I don't think they don't say anybody's dead.
No,
they just say they're all
actually,
hostage.
they actually
Okay.
say they're all alive at
yeah.
one point.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, the
so he's-
prepper guy tells
yeah.
you
Oh,
that.
good. I missed that. I
I mean, I don't know if they stay alive. Spoiler.
well,
alert.
I hope so.
Which
That's
one's the sheriff guy? Is that the
bald
the
dude
mustache?
with the- yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
he was.
He's the one that's like telling the marshal, like, "Hey, you're an idiot. We should not do this."
Yeah.
Like,
This is a
I was
bad
looking,
idea.
I was looking on IMDb, and that's actually the dude that was the super creepy guy on Hell on Wheels.
oh, okay.
The Swede, I think, is what they
Oh,
called
was
him
it
on that.
really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's-
that's weird,
it's that
'cause he's a
dude.
different
And
character here.
he's creepy in everything, and I was like, whoa, that was
Yeah.
not the guy that I expected behind that animated face.
Yeah, so I don't think the microtransactions are too
No, they're
like intrusive on here. But yeah, some of the gameplay stuff is different. It is like a big playground, like always. So yeah, it's like it. So if you like Far Cry, I'd say this is a good game for you. I just feel like a lot of people had expectations for what the story was going to be, and when they played the game and it was not. It's this thing of like, I think certain reviewers. I mean, reviewing stuff is subjective, right? It's a thing of it does apply to personality. It does apply to, but it does frustrate me when they don't actually review the game. Like
in
They review
context
what
of
they
what,
expected.
what
they review it based on what they expected it to be,
and
and
what
when
they wanted it to be.
and when they get a game that's like, hey, I wanted this to have this message. Well, that's fine. You know what? It didn't have it, but let's still like at the core, like
Review
let's
the game as is.
yeah. And
Like,
so a lot of people have taken the route. Bash the story, bash the story, bash the story, which they never would have wailed on a game story that much on any other game. But then they get to the point where it's like, well, okay, now I got to talk bad about the gameplay, and it's like, oh, it's still the same. Which I would like to point out. This is very personal to me. I like you guys take this very seriously.
Okay.
It is not the same because the first tower I climbed in that game,
do you
the
love
guy
it?
got
Did
on the
you love
radio
it?
Yeah.
and said, "Now don't think I'm going to make you go climbing these towers all over."
And I said, I paused
God
on
bless
my,
you, Ubisoft.
I paused on my climb.
God bless
and-
America.
Yes.
They eliminated the towers?
Yes.
There's only
Well,
one.
Right.
There's there's more
To
but
unlock the
they're
map.
different.
they limited.
To unlock the map.
Yeah.
Okay. So
And I
there
wanna-
still is reason to go up towers. It's just
Maybe.
kind of.
But
Yeah,
only
not really. Only if you
it's
want to.
different.
I kind of I like that idea how that works now. I will say it's made it kind of hard to unlock different parts of the map because I'll like drive by and I see different things that say where different locations are, and I'm just like, what? But I'm getting chased by a bunch of guys shooting at me.
Here's what you do. You take the helicopter. You just fly the entire map,
I suppose that works.
and it unlocks everything.
Well, no, it doesn't unlock
No, it
everything.
doesn't, because you gotta see
collect.
things.
You got to collect the maps too, and
Yeah,
the maps
true.
unlock stuff as well.
Yeah.
So,
It's really cool though.
It's
'cause
interesting. You can sell a map before you've actually used it to unlock that section.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh,
but
crap.
it'll yeah. So be careful when you go to sell a map. Hot tips. Because I had two maps, and one it said this map is safe to sell because you've already
No.
I'm an
opened
idiot.
this.
No.
And then
I've
the
sold
other
them.
map, and then the other map said that it didn't have that little.
Well,
like,
but wait, but
this is okay.
But
to
when
sell
you
on
hit
it.
the quick button, it shouldn't sell maps that aren't okay to sell.
it sells everything.
I've sold all
I'm just telling you guys.
I've sold everything.
Oh man. Because I had two maps, and one of them it said it literally said right on it, "This map is safe to sell. You've already unlocked this section of the map."
Trevor's literally
the other
beside
one,
himself.
no.
So much
Oh
regret.
my gosh.
Yeah. No, I wanted to
That's
say
bad.
though, I do like how the system works because it feels very natural. Because you'll go up and you'll like push a button on a phone and it'll be a message from somebody and they'll be like, "Hey, we're getting shot up over here. We need your help." And then you're just like, "I'm gonna go help that person." And then so you drive over there. It shows the location and you go help that person. It just feels very natural.
Or you just ignore them.
Or you
what-
just ignore them.
It's
Yeah.
it is so easy to get sidetracked though.
Yeah.
Because of that.
Yeah, it feels nice and organic. Doesn't feel like you're just like, okay, I climbed this tower, so now I got all these little submissions I gotta do.
Yeah.
And that's it.
The one thing I don't like is for the hunting stuff where it shows the like deer crossing signs or stuff like that. Like if you're driving by, it'll warn you that the sign's there, but unless you stop and look at the sign, doesn't
That's
count.
what, that's what I always do. End up doing that because I'm.
I
And then
like
I'll
e-brake
run
my
by,
car and look out
like,
the
Wait
window.
a second.
I do like that they kind of have auto aim when you're driving and
Oh, yeah,
shooting.
that feels good.
Because
It
it's
took
just
a
like
while though, because it's left. It took a while for me to get
but
used
it's so
to it.
easy because you don't
Yeah.
really, you just kind of have to aim in the general direction, and you'll be driving by an enemy, and they're coming the opposite way, and you just go pop, 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 and they're
And your
dead.
gun
And
comes
it's-
out in front of you,
it's
and-
just, it's
And
so,
do they have an aim assist as well?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's on the
I was gonna
console
say,
version.
I
Yeah,
feel like
pops
there
in.
have been a lot of shots in the short amount of time that I played that I was like, whoa, I feel like I'm really awesome right now. And
It's
I
kind
was
of
like,
it kind of locks a little bit when
Yeah.
you're in the vicinity of
It's
it.
Call of Duty. You know.
Has,
Yeah.
Okay.
has
I was-
anyone else gone through the haunted house?
Not yet.
I'll tell you one thing that I did.
It's
That
so fun.
one thing I
The graphical, the art in it
Yeah.
makes it's awesome.
Oh, nice. I was going to say one thing I did that made me feel like I was the worst shot in the world is I go up to this one guy and he's just like, this vulture swallowed my key. I need you to shoot him now. And I was like, it took me forever to get the stupid things down.
I'm surprised how many bullets the turkeys can take.
No, the vultures only take one. I just was terrible at it.
Was it with a sniper though, or was it a?
I just was using just the regular. Like,
You should
M4
always shoot
stuff.
turkeys with a shotgun.
I shot the turkey with my handgun, and it took like 5 bullets.
Die.
That's not
No, turkey wouldn't die.
natural. No.
I probably just was hitting it in the breasts.
But yeah, you want a shotgun.
Yeah.
how much have you played already, Jeremy?
No, I'm saying in
wait.
real life.
No, but in general, I know you said something about a haunted
two
house.
and a half
you've-
hours. Because I didn't go straight through the. I mean, I just.
He was probably just wandering.
I'm
just
a
wandered?
wanderer.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, this is cool. Yeah.
Have any of you tried the arcade stuff yet?
I did a little bit.
I tried one.
And those are like some of the early ones were pre-made by the developer.
Right, but it's supposed to eventually be filled with like
Community stuff.
community
There's
stuff.
still some
Yeah.
community stuff in it, or already some. One thing I did like about it is they're using all in-game content, for the elements of the worlds. But the one I played was like a New York City one, and it looked nothing like the game, even though all the elements were from the game.
Yeah.
because of how it was built,
That's
city
crazy.
streets with
Well,
the buildings,
and the developers
and it
built-
was pretty cool looking.
The developers made some of them, and then like you can just go in. There's a map editor and
Yeah.
just make your own thing. And they have like assets from other games. We kind of talked about it briefly on the show a couple of weeks ago, but they have like assets from Watch Dogs and other Ubisoft stuff. What was someone gonna say?
Oh,
something?
I was gonna say that the DLC on this game looks interesting too because they've got like 3 completely different off the wall things that they've showed that are supposed to be coming out at some point. I don't know. I'm usually not interested in DLC stuff, but like seeing some of those, even just they've got like the zombies, the darkness, and then the Lost on Mars thing that just seemed like such random out there type of stuff that mixed with what I've already seen of this game
Yeah.
could be real interesting.
It does look cool.
And your in-game currency collection, things like that, and some of your
Perks.
character perks
They
carry
over.
back and forth, which is pretty interesting. I am still curious how they are going to protect from someone creating just a money island, basically.
They've said that
They
they've got
said they're
something
going
there.
to do that, but I'm just curious how that's going to work because
Probably they have
There's
a way, I'm sure.
probably a limiter of how much you can
Yeah,
actually
that's
put
probably
in as
true.
far as gold.
I just like taxes. We're talking about Far Cry 5, if you didn't know. That's what the picture was referencing below. But I did want to mention one other thing real quick here about the game. I'd written some. We talked about arcade. That was good. I was going to talk about that. The only thing this is the only other thing I really is a little bit petty, but still I feel like it's kind of important. Is the radio, which I know Jeremy would shut it off, so it doesn't matter. to
Yeah, it
him.
doesn't matter for Jeremy.
But
I shoot the radios when they're inside buildings too. Just so you know.
I have done that too because they have all of these terrible gospel songs that they made for the game.
Oh yeah,
and they're
so-
creepy.
They're
it's so
good,
creepy.
but they're so bad.
They're creepy though. Like
And that's what
if
it's.
you're listening to them, yeah, they're terrible.
That's what I kind of like. The whole tone of the game is like it's kind of eerie because it's like
Yeah.
it's all these weird. Like even if you go in like the pause menu, I think maybe I'm right thinking. I don't know. At certain times, there's this weird gospel music that's playing, and it's just like this makes me uncomfortable.
It's like-
I don't know.
it's like slightly ominous.
It's
too.
like the person that wrote those songs is someone that maybe heard like a worship song once in the 90s and then they tried to recreate it from memory.
Yeah.
And then that's what they have are these terrible
with really bad lyrics.
awful like ideas. It's like an idea of someone who has no idea like what that
But
music
in
actually
some
sounds
way
like.
that makes
Yeah.
it good, right?
No, it's awful. It's hideous.
Like they want it
that
to
would be
creepy,
something that
though.
Jeremy would say.
No, I'm
Yeah.
saying they want it to be.
I know, but I don't want. That's like it's like why is that? There's that station and then a rock station, and that's
Yeah.
it. And like I mean, maybe in Montana. So the
No,
guys
there's just a
maybe it depends on where you're
audio
at too.
station
Maybe, 'cause
too where it's like.
I think
no-
that's the hymns one. They talk
yeah, that
on
might
it
be it,
sometimes.
yeah.
I mean, that does make sense that if they were in this area where this group has completely taken over things, they would have gone into their own studio and recorded their own
That's
music.
right. That's their own music.
And then,
They have
and
their
then
own
they
TV
would have,
channel
it's the
too.
cult
and they would
worship
have
songs.
they would have blocked off any type of rock music from ever entering their
No,
sanctuary.
no. There's classic rock.
Oh,
I
okay.
think
That's
it's
acceptable.
classic rock. Yeah,
and even David Koresh like that. He would go play bars.
that's true.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're
so,
right.
yeah.
And I do take a deal of pleasure whenever I get into a cult
Oh,
vehicle
my.
and I switched it over to rock. And I'm just like, yeah.
Yeah, because the cult
Desecrating
vehicles,
this cult
the
vehicle.
cult vehicles all start with their music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every
whenever you
single
get
one
in
of
it.
those.
Yeah.
Can we just say there's some really cool vehicles in the game too?
Oh, yeah, that's what we were kind of talking about earlier.
like
the
the
American cars and stuff like that.
Do they? Speaking of the
The
radio,
semi?
do they have somebody like talking on the station in between any of their songs?
Not on the rock one, I don't think.
No, I think there's sometimes the main guy or somebody will come over the radio and it's like
Yeah.
to like it's like context to
Okay.
move the plot along sometimes.
Gotcha.
But I think
Because
that's-
I know in Far Cry 4 they did that a lot with that one radio
DJ,
host
yeah.
that you end
it's
up
not
like
nearly anything
Okay.
like that. No.
because that seemed like that was fun to some degree. Obviously, if you're playing for a while, you get repeats of the same stuff that was
the guys
annoying,
that
but-
actually went and that made this game, like the lead, I don't know, the lead guy on this game. I
Right.
saw an interview with him, and he was like, they actually went out to Montana. They spent quite a bit of time out there, and he was like describing some of his experiences and stuff like that. And I almost wonder, like maybe there was only like 2 stations or something that came in, and that's why they went with that.
That's funny.
But he was talking about the people and how like he's like
I'm
these
really
people-
surprised there's not a country station though.
He's
I
like-
would have liked to.
He's like, these people don't want anything to do with anybody. They want you to leave them alone. They just want to live out here, live their lives, and like that's the way
Yeah.
people in Montana were. And he's like, it's so different from anywhere else because you just don't know if you might actually get eaten by a bear. Like that's a real thing. Like you just
Sure.
So, it's just cool to hear that perspective that they actually took that time
Yeah.
to kind of painstakingly like make
Yeah.
this game. But
I mean, population-wise, it's just generally in Montana, it's not that populous, right?
No.
I just like Taxes says question for Christmas sweater. How does the radio compare to GTA's radio?
It's not nearly as good. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, GTA's radio is kind of unparalleled. You don't have any other game that.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I loved the radio for Mafia 3, but I think that was just because that era just had such great.
Yeah,
just
good
such
music.
great music.
Yeah.
It's just the GTA has like a ton of stations,
yeah.
like 8
You can-
or 9 stations.
DJs for all of them.
Pick
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
until you're bored with it, and
Yeah.
then
And they all fit into the game.
Yeah.
Every single one. Yeah.
I mean, GTA's is just unparalleled. I mean, this is good, but I mean, it's also kind
I'm
of more.
so hoping they go back to Vice City for the next GTA and it's
Yeah.
all 80s music again.
Oh man, that was so good.
Oh, I
Now I'm-
can't.
No,
I
want
hope.
that. I want that.
I mean, if they don't, at least maybe go to the 90s and do like a Miami in the
That
90s
could be
when it's like a
interesting.
cocaine
Yeah.
period, like still high on cocaine, and they're all 90s soundtrack. Do we want to talk about Far Cry anymore? Or do we cover it? I think we're
So far.
we're good.
I think we
we're
covered
good.
it.
And that about does it for our show tonight. But before there's one correction I wanted to make. It's a personal correction. I made a mistake on this show a couple weeks ago. I know it's hard to believe. I know it's almost like it's just shocking, and I hope I didn't just disappoint anybody that I was wrong about something.
Trevor fell out of his
Trevor
seat.
is so shocked. I'm usually an infallible human being, so the fact I'm always right. I'm never wrong.
Completely baffled.
I can't believe that this happened.
He ended that streak.
Someone put a 0 on the days since Eric was wrong.
Yeah, put it up. Jason Zerger's wrong.
Fake news.
So when I was talking about the Nintendo eShop where you buy the games and they had the reward system now in place, right? Where you got a certain percentage.
Right.
And I said you can only use so many of your coins to buy a game.
Oh.
That number on there is actually referencing how many coins you will get for buying the game, not what you can use. Because I recently purchased Scribblenauts because Scribblenauts was 50% off in the
Oh,
store.
it's such a good
Oh, is it
game.
still?
And I don't know if it still is. It was like 2 days ago when I got
That's
it.
a great game.
Well, and it's a new one, like the new
Yeah, I
competitive
need to
one
get
or
it,
something.
yeah.
It was 50% off, but it let me use
Your
as
gold
much of the
coins.
gold coins as I wanted. So,
Nice.
so I could have used like $9 or whatever I had saved up. You can do that. So I just want to be clear: if you have the gold coins for the Nintendo eShop, you can use as many as you want when you purchase a game. I'm sorry that I was wrong about that.
No, you're happy that you're wrong.
I'm
about
happy.
that.
I just
Yeah,
Good to be wrong.
I just disappointed myself
Right.
in being wrong. But before we go, because we don't have an email, so we're just skipping that. Before we go, we got to thank them Patreon.
We should give the number though, at least.
I
Right?
get 475 type call. Give us a call, 475 type call. Send us
You're
email.
not going to. Let's be real.
Yeah, that's
Send us an
true.
email to theloop@minuteinaTub.com. That's theloop@minuteinaTub.com. Send us that email right now while you're thinking about it. I don't care what you're doing. Send it to us. But
Do it.
before we go, let's thank our Patreon peeps. These are the lovely, kind, caring individuals that, you know, they want to help us out. They want to, you know, donate a little bit of their money to us to make us, you know, prosper. We really appreciate it. We continue to be inspired to do these shows and create content and try new things like this interview tonight, which I think went well. And it's all made possible by the patrons, I mean. It's very encouraging whenever that Patreon money rolls in. It's like, hey, we can do a little more. We can plan a little extra for this event, or we can, you know, maybe get some better equipment for the studio. So you see all those names in Patreon Coral. Those are the ones that are $10 level or higher. They're the co-producers, and we love them lots. But you can be any type of level, any level you want to be. $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, $9.
$100.
$100, yeah, that's anything you want to do. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, all you lovely ons. That's what I'm going to call you now, lovely patrons.
Yes.
I
I
Brown
dislike-
Eyes. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I dislike taxes. Says the phone number. I might do it this time. And
We'll see.
yeah, he said if you have it tomorrow, same time, I will do it. But
Okay.
you should do it before same time tomorrow.
Yeah, call
that
them,
way
yeah.
we have it and we can actually play it.
Yeah, we just take voicemails on that phone number. And Brown Eyes for You says Eric admitted he's wrong. I fell out of my bed. Yeah, I, you know, when I realized I was wrong, I was just completely taken over by shame, and I knew that I had to come forward and admit, with a contrite heart that I was wrong, and that's what I've done tonight. And I really appreciate everyone's support and your thoughts and prayers.
Good. Father, what's his name? We'll see you later.
Father Jesse, are you talking about
No,
Jesse in this game?
Joseph.
Yeah.
Joseph, that's it, not
Yeah,
Jesse.
that's the guy.
We're
that's-
close. I call
Father
him Jesse.
Father Jesse is from Preacher.
Can we just say the preacher guy though? He's pretty cool.
I guess. I mean, you would think he was cool. I feel like he's this weird modern amalgamation of all of like the emergent churches in the
Yeah,
world.
that's exactly
and
what
then
it
like
should be.
with a dash of cult leader. But I think that's it. We'd like to thank Rob Benson for coming on
Yes.
tonight. That was great to have a special guest, and also everyone over there working on this Epoch game. What was it called? Epoch.
Last Epoch.
Last Epoch. That's what it is. Last Epoch. We really appreciate them stopping by and showing us the stuff and showing us their stuff.
Lots of hard work going into that.
Yeah.
I'll thank Kyle. You did a great job on interviewing Rob tonight. It was very nice. It felt like we had a professional operation around here for once.
That's not entirely true.
It was great. The blown out lighting on that crappy webcam was gorgeous, and
That's
it
what we do,
It looked
you know?
wonderful.
I had some really good makeup on tonight.
Yeah, that's true. You guys look lovely. But that does it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Tubcast. We'll be here. We'll be waiting for you. Also, check us out anywhere else on the social. It's all / or at Minute in a Tub. We love you. Sleep well tonight. Join us again tomorrow.
Bye.
Good night, everybody in the chat. Good night, Brown Eyes. I Just Like Taxes. Jay Oliver. Trevi91. Thanks, everybody in the talks in the chat. We appreciate it.
And all the people who listen.
All the people listening.
Yes.
You're all great. You're all wonderful, and I'm waving.
Bye.